trees, a victim of pure imagination. So sweet how I rise above the sky before your eyes. Imagine me above the trees, a victim of pure imagination. So sweet how I rise above the sky before your eyes. I can picture me telling my little bro that it's twisting time and searching frantic till I find my lighter just in time to pass it off so he can fire up that super sticky so we can start the process of getting super lifted. I highly doubt that we can help me eye to eye. Right now, I'm out of reach. Meet me at open sky. What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Monday NBA Talk with Jay. We're here with our guy, professional NBA bettor Michael Fiddle. I know on your show, Fiddle, y'all is like professional poker player. So now we're gonna announce Fiddle as professional NBA bettor. Fiddle, what's up with you, my brother? Everything cool with you?
I'm good. On my show this morning, I tried to go live. Twitter was not working. I couldn't do the stream. And I said, thank God I'm joining Jay today because we got 12 games to talk through, all the sides and totals, and I couldn't do it myself. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, shit. Let me go ahead and post this to or see if it'll even let me post this to Twitter.
I don't know if it will.
What's wrong? What's going on with it, man? It's just
I like in the chat, we already got Jose Alvarado here saying, since the SBR days, been watching and supporting J Money, beat Daddy, support Fiddle. Bro. Steve, let's get this money.
I appreciate you, my brother.
Mafia, stop betting parlays. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
That's
whoever said that, those are some words of truth. Oh, I did.
Yeah, it says Fiddle.
Oh,
this is a Fiddle middle.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah. Yeah, but like you say, man, we got 12 games, so there's no point in wasting the people time, man. We're here to talk basketball, talk bets, and what we think about these games. So let's get straight to it. Fiddle, what do you say, my brother? Let's get to it.
Yep, there's definitely some things I like. So let's start.
Let's go over here to the streets of Brooklyn in this one, man. Nets getting 6.5 points at the house versus the Lakers. Obviously, no LeBron James in this one. Luka's questionable in this one. I'm expecting Luka to play, but it's just you know how they do it, man. But LeBron's out, Jackson Hayes is out. They already announced that he's out today, but they'll probably play with you, Luka, game time decision all day. I'm pretty sure he's gonna play Fiddle. But what do you think about this game? You think that the Nets can be scrappy here? I know I saw that Cam Johnson's going to play. I think Cam Thomas is out for this one, right? What do you think about this game?
Correct on all those. Dorian Finney-Smith also out for the revenge game against Brooklyn. I don't even know if there's a revenge game when you thank the team for sending you to a competitive place. Like, please, you guys did me right. I appreciate you. It was a good year and a half. Thank you. I'm good. No revenge needed. Rui, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jackson Hayes, LeBron, Cam, so many people out. Nets are nothing for me against the number. Plus 6.5 is a pretty good number there. So 6 is probably my stopping point, but I'd be interested in a small 6.5.
Yeah, and if Luka gets ruled in, it'll go up to 7.5.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
You can wait on that news. I do think Luka's going to play.
Come on, bro. Like, no LeBron. It wasn't no back-to-back nothing. I don't even understand why you put him game time decision. Like, it's cool. If he's playing, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? If I want to buy a ticket to the game, just let me know. So then Luka's in, I'll just go ahead and buy the ticket. You know what I mean? But he's game time decision. So we'll see what happens in that one. Obviously, I mean, the Nets aren't out of the play-in tournament as well, Fiddle. I don't think they're going to make it because the Bulls keep winning and the Nets keep losing games that they got to win. But they're technically not out of it as well, man. But who knows what to do with this game. But yeah, if you like the Nets, definitely wait till right before game time. Wait till Lucas gets ruled in. You'll at the very least get a 7. I think it probably goes up to 7.5 in this one. No thoughts on the total in this one, Fiddle?
No. It should go up with Luka, but maybe you fade it. If once Luka's in, you could consider fading it because he's an efficient player, but he's a slower paced player. So generally the total, the pace, possessions, number of all that stuff slows down. So the Mavericks angle when he was running with Kyrie was bet the over as soon as Luka's out. And you're like, wait, why would I do that when Luka's out? It's like, it's artificially dipping because Kyrie's going to lead the offense and they're going to be really pushing. If we look towards props, I'd be looking heavy Reeves stuff.
Yo, bro, tripped out. What's up, Fiddle? AKA, is there any more room for me? Hey, cuz, tripped out on that.
We got the AS game coming up next, Sergio. We got AS coming up.
The ass. We definitely do have them coming up, man. But also a good look there from Lewis Russell, 30 ball coming. That's a real revenge game right there.
Ooh,
That's a revenge game. D'Angelo Russell going up against the Lakers. That's one right there. You see what I'm saying? So that's actually a good look. That's be the one that I'd be looking at if I
especially
was
with
betting
no
the prop.
Cam Thomas too. That's really
Right.
nice. Good
Yeah.
eyes.
That's a good eye right there for sure. That would be the revenge spot that I would be paying attention to. You see what I'm saying? D'Angelo Russell don't take his props lightly in this one. He might try his best to go crazy in this game. And they're going crazy in the chat as well. They're going crazy. All right, let's go over here to the streets of Atlanta in this one. Hawks laying 10.5 versus the 76ers, man. I didn't think that we would get there this year, but I mean, if you look at the way the two teams been playing, the Sixers are in full tank mode, pretty much. Like they're in full. They didn't even want to win yesterday, Fiddle. They were laying 6 points. They were up by 23 points. And then before you know it, the Jazz then made it like a fucking 2-point game or something like that. I'm like, bro, these teams really try hard to tank. It's actually pretty incredible to see, Fiddle. What do you think about this game? Should we lay 10.5 with the Hawkies here?
No, that's impossible.
What if there's no Maxey?
Did you see the quote from Nick Nurse about like they're going to play Kelly Oubre less minutes and watch his minutes, and Yabusele's minutes are going to be watched? Like full-on tank announcement from Nick Nurse. Like we're going to be watching the minutes of Gershon Yabusele as he's like his first year back in the NBA, and we might not even be able to re-sign him this summer. What are you watching the minutes for? You're not watching the minutes for anything. You're watching the minutes for your own top 6 protected draft pick that you need to hold on to so you don't send it to Oklahoma City. It's gross, but no, I'm not laying 11 with the Hawks. No way.
Yeah, at this point, don't depress me anymore, Fiddle. Like, why do you have to? I didn't see that, but like, why do you have to like take the depression of the state of the NBA even further? Yabusele played 11 minutes 39 seconds. Oubre played 19 minutes 35 seconds yesterday. They might even sit one of them.
Maybe both, actually. Man. Yeah, honestly, they're probably both questionable at this point to even play.
You know what? I would take Sixers team total under. You can't just take an under for the full game because you never know about the Hawks. Right. But I mean, if the Sixers are going to set all their good players, I know Maxey's questionable, but if you're not trying to win, you're probably just going to go ahead and you know what I'm saying? So let me just check it real quick. What's their team total?
While you're looking that up, Jay, let me just speak to that. We're in the time in March where consider where the team standings are with the injury news. So like Lauri Markkanen was just upgraded to questionable. Wouldn't be surprised if that starts to go back the other way and he ends up being out. Wouldn't be surprised to see Tyrese Maxey be out. If you're looking at guys on Orlando and they're getting ready for their fight with Houston tonight and you got somebody questionable, like that guy's going to go. Malik Monk has a much closer chance to 50-50 of actually playing tonight against the Knicks on the second night of a back-to-back, even though he's been in and out of the lineup recently, than if Monk was on the Sixers. There's no chance Monk's playing tonight. So, always look at team and standing beyond what just the injury news is being reported on the surface. And those become edges in March. So if you can get ahead of some of those spots, it becomes great.
That's a fact. So I don't really want to play any unders with the Hawks, but this is more of a Sixers bet coming off a back-to-back, not trying to win games, literally sitting everybody. I would take their team total under 112.5 if I was betting this game. I'd take Sixers team total under 112.5. Man, they like, come on, bro. What are we doing here, bro? They literally don't want to win. But let's go talk about this game, Fiddle. First off, what do you think about possibly Sixers team total under before we get to the next
I for sure like that angle. That would be one that I try and play before Maxey information gets announced, because that's a perfect spot where you're probably going to get ahead of the news. If Maxey's out, given the way the Sixers are handling things, and that line drops, then it's an amazing ticket to have. So I like the angle, and I like the asymmetric risk that you run in a good direction there.
Facts. Let's get over here to the streets of Boston in this one. You know what the Jazz do, Fiddle? Versus teams that they don't really have a chance to beat, they'll play their guys. Yeah. I mean, they cover too, but they'll play everybody. Then you see Colin Sexton, he's off the injury report. These fuckers, they're not injured. Like, they're literally just sitting them resting. You see Walker Kessler rest. But in games that they have a shot to win, like, no, we're sitting our top 6-7 guys. But versus Celtics, I'm thinking myself last night, I said, watch them. Everybody gonna play in this one because they're playing versus a top tier team. You see what I'm saying? So I think that the Jazz actually might play their guys. And on the other side, the Celtics, even though they've ramped things up and are getting ready for the playoffs, they're really trying to round into form.
They have the Oklahoma City Thunder on deck. You could kind of see this as like this could be like a major sandwich spot as well, Fiddle. You just played the Lakers in a huge game. There was they even had to come back from down in that one. Huge game to win that one. Everybody watching, Luka, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, Lakers, Celtics, two of the biggest franchises in the league. Now you play the ass, laying 17.5, and then you got the Thunder on deck. This would be Jazz or plus a 17.5 or nothing for me, Fiddle. What do you think about this game? You think? But we know that the Celtics could fuck around and cover this shit on accident.
The Celtics could also get up 26 in the second quarter, and then the next thing you know, it's tied in the third quarter. Just like, oh my God, that's classic Celtics. I like the over in this spot, but Jay, we got to say it one time for the people. If you're getting 17.5, that is the literal definition of all that ass on the point spread.
That's a
17.5.
Yeah, now you definitely got one of the best teams versus one of the worst teams for sure. But when I looked at on the schedule that they got OKC next, it just kind of tells me that they're not going balls to the wall here. They know that it's a huge. They just came off a huge game, and I guarantee you they're going to try their best to stay with OKC as well. I don't know if they can, but that's going to be a huge game for the Celtics, like a step up type of spot, like a get ready for the playoffs type of game. Whereas this one, they'll pretty much be going out there chucking a bunch of threes and trying not to get injured. That's what I see from the Celtics today. Who's all on the injury report, Phil? I know I saw Tatum on there.
This over is just moving right now. Like it just moved 2 points from 229 up to 231. Obviously, we're seeing the wave of injury news be reported. That's also happening at some offshores too. So there's some sharp books moving this towards the over. There's exchanges putting it up at 231.5. There's a 230 flat at Bet Rivers. There's a 230.5 at DraftKings minus 108. If you're looking at this Celtics Jazz, and I said it a few minutes ago, I was looking over. I'm actually about to go bet over 230 minus 112 at Bet Rivers for this game.
And you know what? This actually started to move before we even went on. Like when I sent you the link, probably 10, 15 minutes before the show, shit started to get popped. Like across the board, it started to go up to 230. So obviously they get the info before we do. But let me see here. My guy says...
Wait. Who gets the info before we do? Some bettors or some books?
The books get the info.
Okay.
Obviously.
I think both, but yes.
Probably so. But yeah, the books for sure. Like whatever the injuries announced, they had this shit 30 minutes ago. I literally saw this was 10:45 my time, and I saw this total start to get popped. My guy says, let me put you on a little secret. Bet the over when the game is competitive by the third quarter. Sergio likes all that ass with the Jazz with Utah. We're just gonna call them Utah plus 17.5. Mafia likes Jazz Celtics first half over, maybe. And then I don't know how to say Cuz name. We're gonna call him Eminem Moet. I hope I said that right. Give me Celtics minus 29.5. That's what he said. He taking the nice Blue says he needs to be high before the game. Good stuff, guys. Jazz are nothing for me. Could definitely see the over, Fiddle. I see less defense from the Celtics. And you know, they're always gonna do their offensive thing, but I don't see them locking up on this is a Jazz. They're not picking up full court and shit. They're gonna be going through the motions on defense and this. So I could definitely see that over getting hit, Fiddle, for sure. And honestly, I think John Collins and Markkanen probably play. Why? Because they're getting 17.5 points. Let's go over here. This is the game of the day right here, man. Can't wait to go bet this shit. Let's go to the streets of Toronto in here. Raptors land 7 points at the house versus the Wizards. Two teams that want no part in winning the game, Fiddle. What are we doing here, my guy?
Two teams that want no part of winning. There's a 20-1. Does this game go to overtime? Which would be the funniest thing in the build. Nobody in the building wants it to even go to overtime. We're not betting this game. We're not watching this game. I would have to be high to do either of those things for this game.
I mean, I would watch it and laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that means we're really high.
It's just crazy that there's one team land 7 points versus another one, and neither one of them want any parts of winning, bro. It's actually like if you watch the end of the last game, nobody wanted to fucking win, man. You should see the Raptors lineups that they closed the game with. It's like it's absolutely
the injury report.
Hilarious.
Grady Dick out, Pirtle out, Mogbo out, Rashawn Holmes out, Colby Jones out, Middleton out,
Mogbo, bro.
Out.
Bro, they said Mogbo.
Yeah.
What the fuck? All right, let's get to the next game, man. I just wanted to come in, like, have some comedy, and you know what I'm saying? I need a little laugh. So usually I would definitely take that game off, but it's
Raptors,
just
Wizards.
absolutely hilarious stuff, man. Let's go over to the streets of Miami in this one. Heat laying 9.5 points in this one, going up against the Hornets. I believe the Hornets are coming off of a win as well. Remember, these Hornets, they won no parts of winning back-to-back games, but they are getting 9.5 points here, Fiddle. What do you think about this particular game? Heat have pretty much owned them. They've won 6 straight. They've won 8 of the last 10 matchups. Hornets are coming off of a win versus the Brooklyn Nets. And Ellen, do you think they win back-to-back games or even sniff a point spread cover here?
I think they could definitely sniff a point spread cover. I would not be playing the Miami 9 or 9.5 or wherever it is. LaMelo's not even on the injury report for this one, which is surprising to see because he's been sitting so many of these back-to-back spots. On the other side, I mean, I expect Hero to come in and maybe that bumps the 9s back to 9.5, but it's pretty priced there. Maybe an over at 216.5, but besides that, this is another ugly one. There are some great spots on today's card. It is 12 games. We will get to them, but for me, Charlotte, Miami's not one of them.
Facts. No, it's a fact. So it's not a back-to-back for the Hornets. They did have a day off.
Okay, so that's why LaMelo's playing.
Yeah. The Heat, crazy enough, they had covered 6 straight games before they lost to the Bulls. There was a 5th game in 7 nights spot, though, there as well. They pretty much just ran out of gas in the 4th quarter. So before that, Heat were actually covering some spreads, man.
Were they dogs or were they covering as favorites? Because we talk about these teams in their roles.
4 of them were dogs. 4 of them were dogs, and they had, and then 2 of them were favorites. They had the revenge spot versus the Hawks, and then it was versus the fucking Wizards.
Yep.
So, but they kept it close versus the Cavs, man. 13.5 point underdogs, and really probably could have won that game. I was watching that when they gave the Cavs everything they can handle, man. Some teams just match up well with each other, and for whatever reason, the Heat are one of those teams that match up well with the Cavs for whatever reason, man. But let's see what happens in this one. Yeah, I can see the Hornets keeping it close, but I don't think they want any parts of winning back-to-back games. Let's talk about a really great game here, man. Let's go over here to the streets of Memphis. Grizzlies, land 4. Line opened up at 5, down to 4. Here against the Suns, man. Really be nice if the Suns could try to grab that last 10 spot, Fiddle. It'd be fucking nice. I just want to see something happen, man. But shout out to Colin Gillespie. Damn, what's Cole's name? Gillespie.
Gillespie.
Bro,
Yeah.
We don't call him Colin. We don't call him CG. Bro might have saved their season, bro. Like, no lie. He came in there with the injury, took a guy coming off the bench to try to save your season when you got, we're just going to say Devin Booker and Kevin Durant because Bradley Beal is, he's a robber. But what do you think about this game, Fiddle?
Bradley Beal's a robber of organizational money.
Yeah.
I think this is a clear Sun spot. This is one of my favorite ones on the card. Take the Suns. We'll take them at 4 regardless. We'll take them at 4.5 if it's still there on the board anywhere. But love the Suns in the spot. Play a little money line as well. No Jaren Jackson. And we're getting Memphis priced as like the power rated better team with more star players. You're saying this is, if you're putting this as Memphis minus 4.5-ish, you're saying Memphis is 2.5 points better than Phoenix without Jaren Jackson Jr. And I just disagree with that. Because Ja right now is playing horrendous basketball. Like, I'm the biggest Ja Morant supporter in the world. I love Ja Morant. I've been saying this for years. And when Halliburton was cooking, I was like, you guys don't realize that Ja Morant is still so much better than Halliburton. What I would do is fade this because Ja Morant, the shoulder thing, he's not shooting well. He doesn't have his bigs around him. Edie's not setting the same kind of screens for him to then start to initiate the offense. So the whole Ja Morant thing is like he's now one of the most overrated players in the NBA. And if that's true in a power rating sense, then you want, the Phoenix Suns here, spread and money line. I played it in every direction and would still play it at current numbers.
And him and Bane, 2 of the guys that have been kind of in and out of lineup, questionable, all this shit. They played the most minutes yesterday. 38 minutes for Bane, 37 minutes, 36.5 for Morant as well. So also something to keep in mind. And I'll tell you this, Fiddle. Yep. These motherfuckers were down like 7 points at the half versus the Pelicans, bro. No Zion, no CJ. What are we doing, bro? They were down 7 points at the half versus the New Orleans Pelicans. And I bet them live minus 2.5, and I had to sweat that out. If it wasn't for late free throws, they wouldn't have covered that, bro. Like,
Yep.
not versus the Pelicans, not without CJ and Zion. I'm sorry. There's no excuse for that. Let's just look at the Grizzlies here. 1-8-1 against the spread in their last 10 games.
Wow.
Bruh. That's horrible. 5 of those games are at the house, man. It's crazy because they've actually been losing a bunch of games at the house. They lost to the Spurs at home. They lost to the Hawks at the house. Had a little 4-game losing streak at home, bro. So I don't know what's going on with Memphis. They were sitting at the number 2 seed. They're not playing a lick of defense, Fiddle. What they've literally, like Tony Allen would be, I'm surprised he hadn't went over there and gave them a pep talk in the like, even with Triple J, the defense was horrible, right? Tony Allen, Zach Randolph, man, Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol, they would be so pissed at this team. But one last point for this one, Fiddle. They just face off. The Suns had the lead the whole game, up by 3 at the end of the first quarter, up by 4 at the end of the first half. And it ended up going to overtime. Like, Suns should have won that game. They literally like pissed one away. 151 to 148 in overtime. So the Suns have shown that they can hang with them. And that was even with Triple J as well. He had 28 points and 6 rebounds in that game as well, man. So,
and right before they went to overtime in that game, Jay, I'll tell you, Kevin Durant catches an inbound pass. And what do the Memphis Grizzlies do with a game winding down and Kevin Durant, ball within his hands, back to the basket, back and down, 5 seconds left. You know he's going to take that patented KD fade away for the game. Yep. They put fucking Desmond Bane on him.
The shortest fucking guy.
No wingspan, shortest guy. Like, what in the... Durant got off the cleanest look I've seen, and it just missed. So they actually had one... Like, the prototypical shot that you would love to get from KD in that spot, and he just missed. So they actually should have won that game.
No, that's a fact. No, I mean, they had to lead the whole fucking game. They pissed away in the fourth quarter. This is a triple revenge spot. They've lost all 3 matchups versus the Grizzlies this season. My guy says y'all brave taking the Suns. LJ says you do.
Suns suck.
My guy says you do know the Suns are 5-16-1 against the spread after a win. He just reiterating that. Suns are buns. I've heard someone that's really smart that's on the show with me say that. What's up, my guy? Ernest. Shout out to my guy Ernest. My guy say alligator arms Bane. That's
I call him D-Rex.
D-Rex. That's my guy's cousin, man. Grizzlies shouldn't be 4th in the West. It's a Suns spot. Every time I bet them, they fuck me off. So, I mean, I'm going to root for you guys. I need the Suns to make the play-in. I need them to make the playoffs, all this shit. So, I'm just not going to bet their games, and then they'll probably win this game outright. I mean, they've actually playing a little bit better. I can't put money on it, man. But it's the Suns or nothing spot for me. The people don't really give them the same flack, Fiddle, but the Grizzlies, you can kind of argue they play even more ass than the Suns, bro. Man, go back and watch that Pelicans game yesterday. That's all I'm gonna fucking say. Let's go over to the streets of Chi-Town, Fiddle. Bulls getting 6 at the house versus the Pacers. Line was at 4.5. What do you think about this game? Vucevic is coming back. It's probable. I don't think he's played in like 5 games. Probably gonna be super. He's probably gonna be a little rusty in this one. Pacers could potentially be in a look ahead spot. They do have the Bucks on deck tomorrow. It's actually going to be a huge game. So that's the only thing. Like, I lean Pacers. Bulls have been playing well. Fiddle, shit, they've covered 7 of their last 9 games, bro. The Bulls have. But I mean, the Pacers, I still think the Pacers are a bad matchup. They've beaten them all 3 times this year, covered the spread all 3 times this year, comfortably as well. But I don't like the fact they have the Bucks on deck tomorrow, and they got a double revenge spot versus the Bucks as well. What do you think here?
I think it all depends on the Halliburton situation. So the Pacers have a back-to-back here, then 2 days rest, and then another back-to-back at the end of the week if we're like looking at their schedule as a whole. If Halliburton plays, which based on the way the lines move, it's either really sharp action or this is an ode that Halliburton's actually going to play. If Halliburton plays, the line's going to still go another full point. So I do think it's Pacers or nothing, considering you're either backing sharp action and maybe catching a little bit of late steam, but you still have a chance that this goes to 7 or just comes off the 6. And 6 is the most important number in NBA betting. So if you get closing line value relative to that, you're in a good spot. The reason why the Bulls are a bad matchup for the Pacers, or the Pacers kind of crushed them this season, is because they're both pace-up teams. The Bulls, can face up well against the Magic, who don't score. If they can just overwhelm a team with offense, they can hang. but against a team like the Pacers who can match their offense and then could also
And
play a
play
little bit of
defense.
good defense,
Facts.
then this is a Pacers spot, even on the road. It's gross, but it all depends on the Halliburton news. It seems like he's going to play based on line movement, but I don't know how to overly read into that. The other things that I would say is Josh Giddey's playing for a contract right now, and he reportedly wants like $30 million a year. So it's going to be tough in this game to look towards Giddey props because the total's so high. So when you look at the prop market, you're like literally paying for Giddey to have 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Like, it's crazy. But start finding the right spots to back Giddey props, because even though the Bulls are like kind of going tank mode, he's going to try and stat stuff as much as possible, and his plus minus is historically terrible. So Giddey stat stuffing accomplishes all goals. His contract, Bulls draft position, all the things you could possibly want.
Yeah. Josh Giddey's girlfriend over under 18.5. No, I'm just kidding around. But no, I'm with you on that. Shit. Like I said, I was staring at 4.5 last night. I'm like, I definitely think the Pacers are better than the Bulls, but that's why you kind of got to look at the schedule, man. When they got the Bucks on day, I just kind of see them saving something for the Bucks tomorrow, man. So that's just what I see. Obviously, huge little rivalry brewing there. Oh, you know what happened last year with the play-in, with the in-season tournament with Halliburton, Dame doing all that shit. So you don't want to take the Bulls lightly here because they have been playing well, even with starting some of these rookies and stuff, and Kobe White not really playing well. And Vucevic back. I still don't think the Bulls are that good, but like, you just worry about the look ahead for Pacers. But I'm with you. And also another one, an injury that no one really talk about that means a lot to the team. TJ McConnell left the last game and wasn't able to come back as well. He means a lot more than the team than what it would suggest to the point.
And with the Halliburton injury, that becomes cluster. So then you have no playmakers on the offensive end if you're down them both. I saw a comment from our guy Sergio who said, I'm sick of these injury reports. Try and switch that mindset a little bit. Try and say these injury reports can actually become really advantageous this month. Try and go from the perspective of, let me handicap from a injury report first standpoint and try and understand, follow the local beat writers, stay on top of what coaches are saying in post-game interviews and things like that. If you can kind of read the tea leaves on injury reports in this time, you can make so much money. So you could either be sick of it, or you could go 10 toes down into it and say, I'm going to study this, and that's how I'm going to beat the market.
Unless it's the Los Angeles Lakers who make LeBron and Luka questionable.
That one's
every fucking day.
Agreed.
Every fucking day. Every day. No lie. Or unless you're the Utah Jazz and you have no idea if the starting lineup is going to play or if they're just resting or injury management. But no, those are facts right there, Fiddle. Those are facts. But I still understand what he's saying, like as an overall thing. But I mean, they did list Vucevic as probable early, so shout out to them.
Someone just wrote, how do you find those beat writers? You could do a Google scrub of just like Bulls beat writer, Pacers beat writer, Knicks beat writer. I also have a list of all of them. I will post it to my Twitter after the show.
Got you. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's go over to the streets of H-Town. Rockets land 4.5 at the house versus the Magic in this one, Fiddle. What do you think? Are the Magic back after coming off their win versus the Bucks? I don't want to take the Rockets without Amen Thompson.
Resounding Magic spot. Love them.
Arguably their best player, bro. What do you think? I think Amen Thompson is the Rockets' most important player.
And then, okay, so we don't need to have that discussion. It's either him or Şengün. They're both, like Thompson is coming on really strong. The thing is, the same way we talked about it, it's very similar to the McConnell injury in the fact that like maybe Amen Thompson's value is worth way more than it is statistically to a spread, because he was the fourth best player on the Rockets at the start of the season. And now we can really have a debate if he's the first or second best player with a guy who made the All-Star team this year. Right. So he's not being priced what he's actually worth. And similar to Halliburton and McConnell, you have Van Vliet and Amen Thompson. Thompson out, Van Vliet questionable, and I'd say leaning towards doubtful the way that injury reporting has been going with him recently. So if they're missing both of their playmakers, insane Magic spot. If this is going to be the Jalen Green show, and then the Magic are incredibly strong at covering centers. So they'll throw Jonathan Isaac as the first look on Şengün and then have someone come weak side help. This is Magic all the way. Let's see what the spread is now.
What about an under spot? You know, I'm not betting the fucking total, but two teams that play really great defense and we expect their offense to struggle.
Yeah, totally fine with it. It's 212. It's low, but yeah, I'm totally fine with it. The Magic right now this week have 4 road games coming off of a win, and they're so crucial to their schedule. So I think the Magic are going to be really locked in this whole week, and I especially want to play that early in the week. So my favorite angle of it is Magic plus 4.5. But yeah, I'm fine with the under. I'm fine with a Magic money line. Any type of angle to play in a gritty, gross Houston effort, that's where I'm going tonight.
Yeah, and they should be ready to turn up too. They had lost 5 straight games, man. And 3 of those games they shouldn't have lost. So I can understand well, they did lose by 40 to the Cavs and then came back and had a good effort, lost by 6 to the Warriors. You can't be losing back-to-back games to the Raptors at the house. They can't happen. So I'm sure that the Magic, like I remember last week I had a really bad basketball game and I was so pissed at myself. That's probably how the Magic were. Like they know damn well that they're better than that. Then they lost to the Bulls as well. Lost that game by 2. So 2 losses to the Raptors and then the Bulls. They came out fucking pissed versus the Bucks. I'm with it. I think I'm gonna ride with you on that Magic. It makes a ton of sense. I think the Rockets are due for a slide, especially without Amen Thompson out there. I think the Magic could win this game outright. All they got to do is come out locked in, play like they did versus the Bucks. Bucks have way more offense than the Rockets do. But their defense is also much more ass. But I think that the Magic definitely have a major height advantage here, and maybe they're starting to get used to playing without Suggs. They should win this one and get on a little 3-game win streak. I like Magic here, plus the 4.5. Fiddle. Let's go over here to the streets of OKC. Thunder, laying 9 at the house versus the Nuggets. Back-to-back games, same arena. Think Jokic may have banged up his elbow. Aaron Gordon left the game, didn't return. What do you think happens in this one? For whatever reason, Thunder been coming out slow, and in the fourth quarter, they just fucking smash teams, bro. It's crazy. Well, it's third or fourth quarter, Thunder come out in the second half and just smash. First quarter, first half, that's been the only vulnerable spot for the Thunder here lately. What do you think about this game?
Teams that perform well in the third quarter, signs of a great coach. So shout out to Dagnall for being able to recognize some halftime adjustments and make those. I like Thunder minus 8.5. It's kind of gross to be playing the team that covered on the first night when they're playing this double spot. But however, this OKC team just matches up so well with Denver. Now, I do want Chet to be in, and he's going to be doubtful. But, I mean, you have multiple bigs. The reason why Denver struggled in the playoffs last year against the Wolves was because they had multiple bigs to throw at Jokic. Hey, we're going to throw a first big at you when you cross the free throw line. And if you get in the restricted area, here comes another one. And then the secondary, what makes Jokic a killer is when teams do that to him, he's the best passer in the gaps. He can find the best cutters who fill the gaps, and they cut so well around him, and they fill the spaces, and the whole geometry of basketball really works for the Nuggets. However, Caruso is probably the best gap defender I've seen in my life. SGA, J-Dub, Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, these guys are absolutely elite at defending what Jokic does best. So it is no surprise to me that Jokic had a tough outing yesterday. To ask Jokic to have 2 tough outings in a row, probably just not happening. He's too good. He's going to have to do more without Aaron Gordon, so I do expect him to come out aggressive. There was late money that came in yesterday on Denver, so I'm hoping that late money comes in again on Denver, and then I could fade that and take OKC. If I can get an 8.5 minus 110, I'm all over it.
I think you might get a better number in game, bro.
Yeah, if you want to wait, if you want to play the OKC struggle early, then wait a little bit and then play it at like 7.5 if you see that pop up after the first quarter. Absolutely. If it's a tie game after 1, sure. You
think Jokic plays?
Yes.
I know one thing. SJ was like, I'm about to show you motherfuckers who the MVP is. I'll tell you that right now.
He is the MVP.
He is the MVP.
About that?
Please do.
I absolutely hate the whole MVP talk. I hate it. Why are we? He's minus 600. Why are we talking about like it's a coin flip when Jokic doesn't care if he wins MVP?
Jokic just had a 30-20-20 game. So, after that.
I know. And everyone wants to.
And it dropped down after that. Guess what? It dropped. He went down to 350, minus 350, minus 375 after that, too. No lie. I'm just saying.
It's all, we don't have a vote. It doesn't matter. The guy barely cares. I don't give a shit. Like, I see all this MVP talk and all these shows and having a whole MVP discussion. I go, well, there's 30 minutes back of my time that I don't have to listen to.
Well, they want to give it to him every fucking year. So, and they think he gets it they think he deserves to get it this year, 3 straight years in a row. So, I'm just
He
letting you
does,
know
but
that.
that's whatever.
Let's go over here to the streets of San Antonio. Spurs land 7 at the house versus the Mavs. Spurs have been playing absolute ass. The Mavs, even though they've lost Kyrie, they still have been playing super trash though. Like they still been giving teams all they can handle. Problem is the Mavs have absolutely owned the Spurs. Won 6 straight, won 9 of the last 10. You could and 7-3 against the spread. This is one of the on one end you can say that the Spurs have been playing ass and they've damn near gave up on the season. They're even talking about Fox might have surgery on his finger. But on the other end, you could say this is our chance to kick the Mavs while they're down as well. But there's no way I can lay 7 with the Spurs. They're coming off a road home back-to-back as well, coming from Minnesota, 3rd game in 4 nights. They're only 3-7 straight up and against the spread last 10, Fiddle. But Mavs 0-5 straight up, 0-6 against the spread in their last 6 games. But wherever, like when they played Memphis, they gave them all they can handle. When they played the Suns, gave them all they can handle until late. But they're still 0-6 against the spread last 6. What do you think about this game? Should we lay 7 with the Spurs here?
No, Mavs are nothing. I've been impressed with the Mavs. We could talk about 0-6 in their last 6 against the spread. I've been really impressed with the Mavs all season in playing above their skis when guys have been out. I mean, I think they started the season like 6-1 in games Luka didn't play.
Yeah.
Like they've been really good. Jason Kidd is a game theory optimal coach. He plays like a poker style of NBA basketball where when he knows he's at a talent deficit, they hunt threes and they're just like, fine, we'll win the math game. Like we'll do it that way. And so would look towards an over, would look towards Mavs +7. I think those are certainly correlated angles in this game, but I'm not going to play it.
Yeah. They play again too the next game. Wasn't no parts to this.
Nope.
I would need to be high to watch this game. No respect for the Spurs. Still have a great team. Still could have tried to make a run for it, but yeah, they're literally just giving up in some of these games. LJ says Najee Marshall 3 straight double-doubles since Kyrie got hurt. I wonder let me know what that price is, L Jizzle, with that for Najee Marshall double-double. Makes a ton of sense. There, my guy says acting like WNBA girls. And the WNBA girls are the new NBA players. But
yeah, the WNBA girls are tough as nails. You got to watch WNBA and throw some respect on that game. Not Jay, the comment.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. No, I'm there, bro. Last year in WNBA, I probably made more money in that little season than in the whole NBA season for sure.
I had a higher ROI in WNBA. Can you get as much money down?
I can. That's why I moved here. I go to different casinos and I can get down whatever.
All right, we will be talking during the WNBA season. That's for damn sure, because that's where I struggle is getting down the ass I need to.
If you live in a place with different casinos, you can get whatever down that you want, but it has to be like you might have to go to 3, 4, 5 different casinos, but you can get down whatever you want. Let's go over to the streets of 2 more games here. Fiddle. Warriors land 12 at the house versus the Blazers. I don't know what to do this again. I feel like 12 is a little too much though. Warriors are definitely the better team, but like when the Blazers have been kind of scrappy here lately, and they have lost before. They had a stretch, Fiddle, where they had won 4 or 5, 5 of 6, and covered 5 of 6. Since then, 0-3 versus some really good teams though. Celtics, Thunder, and Pistons. What do you think? This is a little back-to-back as well, man. That's tough. What do you think about this game? Do the Warriors come back and smack somebody up here by 12?
I think it's perfectly priced at 12, given the back-to-back spot for Portland. They've tended to rest guys, especially their bigs on the second night of back-to-backs. Avia, Turbo, one of the best nicknames in the NBA emerging. Turbo Avia. We'll see. He was a late scratch yesterday, so no idea if he plays and where he stands on the injury report. And then for the Warriors side, 11-1 with Jimmy in the lineup? I don't know how to price Jimmy Butler. Like I try and do this all the time, right? Run a model and then also understand perceived player values to then have a baseline number for what the season totals represent, and then be able to factor in, okay, maybe you get another extra 2.5 points for Jimmy. When Jimmy was leaving Miami, I wasn't changing the line at all on the Jimmy Butler in or out news. He was meaningless. He's gone back to, he might be worth 4.5 points.
Facts.
Like he's crucial for them. He's incredibly motivated. So I really don't know how to price Warrior spots. I don't like the number for the Blazers with their schedule spot and their injury report. So it's a stay away for me.
Yep. No, that's a fact. And Blazers been playing so many damn road games, bro. They had played, good Lord, 1, 2, 3, 4. They had played 7 road games, bro. Came home for 1 game versus the Pistons. Now you got to go back out on the road. I'd be pissed. I'd be hot, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you. What, 6 game in 9 days or some shit like that? Yeah, but I ain't messing with this fucking game. Last one. Kings getting 3 at the crib versus the Knicks. Kings have actually been playing some really great defense. They might get Monk back. I don't care. I mean, I did take the Knicks in this one, man, a little bit earlier. Last night, obviously.
Okay. Can we speak to this real quick?
Go ahead.
So one of my favorite strategies to execute, and it is so easily replicable for people in the comments. This is such a basic thing, and it fucking works. Whenever you see a game go to overtime, in the little break between the start of the end of the fourth and the start of overtime, open your book, open the NBA schedule, and just check if that team has a back-to-back. Because these games
should already know. Should already know if they have a back-to-back.
You know, because you're the schedule savant. That's what we call Jay Money, Mr. Schedule Savant. However, if you don't know and you're not paying attention to where they've been, what's the travel spots, look ahead spots, 3 days and 4, because that's what Jay specializes in, then just pull it up. You have a commercial break to do it. And if there's a back-to-back, it's probably going to be priced at that point because like books like FanDuel, DraftKings, and they're trying to get their numbers up early so that they take action, right? Ultimately, they want to take action, and the overnight limits are not massive, so they'll take your action. And so if a game goes to overtime, then immediately fade that team the next night if they're on a back-to-back. So Kings went to overtime yesterday against the Clippers, and the Knicks were a +1 for this game. It was immediate that I got an alert that says Kings going to overtime. Boom, I'm going to bet the Knicks. This is my moment. I was considering betting Knicks anyways. Now is the strike point. Here we go. Because once that game goes to overtime, you have this 5-minute window of just, there is nobody in the world that is going to bet the Kings as they're going into overtime. Who's going to do that? You're going to wait until the end of overtime. You want to see if they're playing on the second night of a back-to-back. You want to realize, oh, they're in Los Angeles, now going 5 extra minutes, intense minutes, and then they have to get on a late flight after they do their meet and everything and go back to North California, right? LA's in SoCal, Sacramento's in North Cali. So you fade those spots on repeat. This just happened with the Knicks. The Knicks were playing against the Lakers. They go to overtime with the game priced against the Clippers. What happens? Jalen Brunson gets hurt. Like, you don't ask for the injuries. We don't want the injuries. Right. But there's that asymmetric risk that falls in there for rest spots, injury spots. Nobody in the world is betting Kings. So the line is going to move. And if you grab a line and it moves, then you're in a power position to say, do I want to play this back and open a middle? Do I want to just literally cash out of this ticket at plus money once you've gained the closing line value? Just like, oh, I'll take a 2% profit just because I saw this game go to overtime and watched the line move and then cashed out of it. Boom, there you go. Or you ride it. Like, there's so many options. Beating the line is the most important secondary metric, and doing it in overtime back-to-back spots like this Knicks Kings was. I know it's not actionable right now as we're talking about the line, but it should be blanket advice for any other game that goes to overtime.
For the future. The future,
it should be pretty easy to implement.
And I've told people this numerous times. When the team goes to overtime, man, their money's going to come in on the other side every single time, especially when one team has a rest advantage, and the Knicks actually have a 2-day rest advantage here too. That's why I looked at that. I was like, oh hell yeah, this is a good spot. But I mean, the game still has to be played. Knicks are still only 1-9 against the spread last 10. I know that they won't have Brunson, but it was an absolute heartbreaker loss. I got a question for you, Fiddle. After losing on a heartbreaking shot at the buzzer, do you think that teams like just kind of are they super? Yeah, are they super sad, or are they ready to come back and ball and get that bad taste out of their mouth? Which one do you think it is?
I'm gonna go neither, to be honest. I think the ones that are actually the ones that are like backbreakers that actually carry over are the ones where you're up 20 and end up losing, or like the ones where you make a late comeback and then you still don't pull it off and you feel like you're drained of energy because you were down 15, had this roaring comeback, took the lead, and then still lost. If it's just like a variance, lucky shot, buzzer beater, tip your cap to the opponent that did it, move on. Like the Amen Thompson game winner against the Celtics, I don't think the Celtics are carrying that over. Like, shit happens. Players in the league hit game winners all the time. That's why we created a clutch player of the year award, which our guy Jalen Brunson's very, very high up on the totem pole for that because he leads the NBA in clutch time scoring. So, yeah, Knicks or nothing for sure.
Oh, facts. Oh, one thing that you should take from what Fiddle's saying, if you have a bet on one of these games on a cash out book, and you got like 3-4 points of value, you can literally cash that out and make easy money just off getting a free, just off getting a better line. That's what he's saying. Like that cash out will be above what your wager was. Say if you put 500, the cash out might be like $530 or something, and you can just cash out and make a free $30 just off getting a better line. You don't even have to wait for the game to be played out. So I think that's one of the main things you should take from what Fiddle's saying there. Kings have been balling, they have, but absolute heartbreaking loss, man. I like to watch those games because when you see teams like drop their head, it's like it's just heartbreaking. It's even more for the Clippers because the Kings had a chance to possibly even hop up in the standings. I don't know if they could have hopped up, but I know that they really needed that game last night.
Yeah.
That was a playoff game that the Kings played last night. You could see it. Every fucking possession mattered. It was a very high intensity game. I don't know how they replicate that today, to be perfectly honest with you, especially versus a team that's lost 3 straight and has 2 days off of rest and has the guys that can guard DeRozan and Levine as well, man. So we'll see what happens, but did like the Knicks in this particular spot, my guys. But like I say, if Monk comes back, the line might even go back down, Fiddle. But let's get up out of here, man. Could be an under spot as well. Kings have been playing some really great defense. I'll give them that. Fiddle, let's get out of here, man. Shout out to my guy Ronald as well, man. I think you say what you like, Fiddle, and I'm gonna tell you on one of yours.
Magic, Suns. I do like OKC, but I have not played it yet. That Jazz Celtics over, I did play it at 2:30 during the show. Yeah, those are the ones. Suns, Magic, over in Celtics Jazz.
Like it. I ain't gonna talk you off. I can't bet the Suns. I'm banned from betting them, which means they'll win because I'm not betting them. But I like that Magic spot. But he says, thank you. I like that Magic spot actually quite a bit. I think it's definitely a play on the 4.5, and I think it's worth a little J Money sprinkle on the money line there. Magic, they should be pissed off and ready to go on a little run. And I think it started versus the, but even though they almost pissed the game away, I think that their defense and their size and length, no homo, is going to get the job done today. So I'll rock with Magic plus 4.5 with my guy Fiddle, the middle guy. You see what I'm saying? We appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all go and follow my guy Fiddle on the 76ers team total under 113 is not a bad look, man.
Yep.
It's not that's a really great look in my opinion. I know it's the Hawks. They still have guys like Dyson Daniels or Kongu that still like to play defense. Even guys like Terrence, man. I think Sixers going to their team total. They won no parts in winning this game, man.
I think it's a great, great look. There was one other that you said that I thought was genius. It was the Sixers team total under, and what was the prop that we were looking in that game? I actually legitimately wanted to play it myself.
I don't
Sorry.
know. I didn't
figure it out.
I didn't have super good looks on the prop. I know somebody said Najee Marshall double. I don't know if I had a prop in there with my brother.
I felt like somebody commented a great prop, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely doing that. Oh, the D'Angelo Russell revenge stuff.
Oh, yeah. Russell for Nets. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. That's it, man. That's the show for today, man. 50 minutes, 444 people watching live. The lucky number. Let's get this cash. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Maybe we can get Fiddle back on the show, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Wednesday or Friday or something.
Whenever. You want a professional poker player? I can set you up with Drew as well.
Let's do it, man. I'll come through, Ronald. Shit, I'm waiting on y'all. It depends on what time you do it, bro. I got family at the house right now, but I can make it happen. Even if I take my laptop somewhere else. Let me know, Ronald. Shit, I'll pop through that motherfucker. I know we got practice tonight. Got a game tomorrow. Got practice on Wednesday, but I think y'all do it super late. Hit me up, Run Done. But that's the show, man. It's all love. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit the like button. Let's get this motherfucking cash in. We'll be back some point later this week, maybe either Wednesday or Friday. Go follow Fiddle at Fiddle's Picks on Twitter, X, whatever you like to call it, man. Hope y'all have a great day. Drink some water. Get a workout in, man. All that good stuff. We out.